Following the recent announcement that ICE is finally winding down their operations in Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz now claims they're leaving behind a trail of economic ruin in their wake, and furthermore, that American taxpayers should pick up the tab. I think it's what they call Minnesota logic. Walz says he's now planning to dole out at least $10 million in tax money to help out a bunch of small businesses throughout the state, which have allegedly suffered extreme financial damage, all due to the recent ICE surge. No, they've suffered extreme financial damage because you, Mr. Walz, are an incompetent state leader. Even more specifically, he says he plans to direct as many of those funds as he can to immigrant small business owners, claiming that it's the least he can do because the federal government needs to pay for what they just broke in Minnesota. According to Team Walz, a large number of companies are now facing extreme and perhaps insurmountable economic hardships, which are directly due to the recent federal immigration enforcement efforts in their state, resulting in what Walz himself calls a once-in-a-lifetime generational trauma. Well, yeah, he created the injury, and now he wants taxpayers to pay for this some kind of emergency surgery. In his appeal for public sympathy, the governor goes on to say that for most of our country's history, immigrants who own small businesses have been the epitome of the American dream, that his administration truly values everything which they bring to our country, and that ultimately immigration is at the core of who we are as an entire nation. Although he accidentally left out the part about legal, lawful immigration. Furthermore, he says that claims that the Trump administration's intentional retribution campaign against Minnesota has inflicted long-term damage on the entire region, that recovery is certainly not going to happen overnight, and that his team will do everything in their power to help people rebuild and stabilize their businesses. Well, great that Timmy wants to help because, in my mind, he's the instigator-in-chief. This is all his doing. As a result, his reparations proposal includes what are being called forgivable loans of up to, get this, $25,000. Forgivable. Well, that's not a loan, it's a gift, each of which will be handed out to eligible organizations that can show they suffered substantial revenue loss during the recent ICE operation. And for their part, Republican critics say the governor's new loan plan simply opens up yet another avenue for fraud, more fraud in the state, adding that Minnesota taxpayers don't deserve to have any more of their hard-earned money stolen from right out from under them. Think about it. Makes perfect sense. Final thoughts, and this is the News Roundup Lowdown. Now, here's what I'm thinking. With all due respect for this conflict-generating cretin, Governor Tim Walz, who, by the way, couldn't balance a checkbook, let alone manage the entire state of Minnesota, this guy's absolutely twisted, way out of line, completely out of touch with reality. And to begin with, to my understanding, if you run a business and you knowingly hire illegal immigrants, then you're committing a crime under federal law, and you face potential criminal penalties, including, I would imagine, some time in jail, in the joint. You know, I get it. Illegal immigrants might work for a lower wage, and for a number of business owners, that's going to improve your bottom line. But look, if the only way you can run a business is by breaking the law and employing other lawbreakers, illegal immigrants, then you clearly don't know how to run a successful operation. Now think about it. United Airlines, they could save a ton of dough if they hired flight attendants to steer the big jumbo across the planet. But they'd be in violation of a bunch of federal laws. And best guess is there would certainly be some safety concerns for all those folks who are simply trying to get to their next destination. Yeah, it'd be kind of a dumb idea. Finally, this nitwit, Old Man Walz, wants to take your tax dollars and funnel that dough over to law-breaking and competent business owners because, in his mind, they're the real victims. That's just rich. If he actually gets away with that, then he's absolutely the single most ignoble politician in our entire country. Hey, Bill Thomas here. If you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. And don't forget to check out our channel, News Roundup with Bill Thomas. And that's where you can catch our full program and more videos. And we'll see you right back here next time.